right, my friend. Okay, so we've got a product incoming, young man. We're going to have you put your back to the assembly line, put your blind faith in capitalism, and I'm just going to have you lean right back.
Yep, here we go. We're sending the product down the supply chain.
Here we go.
Stay stiff. We're a cardboard box.
Okay, all right.
The product is almost across.
New Games of Folklore, right?
New Games was more of a 70s organization, and there was a real sense that politics we should look at what was going on with us personally, and in between us, the politics of our relationships. So I see New Games as part of that, rather than directly addressing politics. I feel like at the time I did kind of worry that it wasn't political enough, but now it seems to me that it has had a really positive effect. When I look at my daughter, I can see that a lot of our ideas inform what's going on now.
And of course, inclusiveness was always one of the core values of New Games. And so by being inclusive, you include people different from yourself, kind of obviously. So yeah.
And although it's not political in the sense of Democrats, Republicans, and all that, it has a subversive effect, I think. Like, the goal of meditation is to be present, in the present. When you're doing the games, that's exactly, when you're really into it, that's what's happening. And you can find ways to incorporate that into your life, to be in the moment.
In this age that we've got of technology, the need for human experience of activity together and participating together, it's almost higher than ever before, that people crave it even more. And I think it takes different forms. It may not be in games all the time.
Speaking of structure, there's a button that talked about structure freedom. That's what we were trying to do. We were trying to take freedom, and if it got crazy, structure it a little. If it got too tight, loosen it up a little. The aftermath is, I think New Games lives as a content phenomenon in the world of education and in the world of recreation for sure. It's sort of the primary underground. In a sense, we got co-opted by them, and in a sense, we infused the system with this kind of stuff.
I certainly never thought of it as a utopian thing. I just thought of it as, hey, this is a great way to have fun. People come together. I mean, it is kind of an incredible community at that time. And, wow, this is amazing. But it wasn't like, we're going to make the world a better place. And in that sense, change things. But it wasn't, we are going to take over the world and the world is going to be, like New Games.
I do like your description, though, of mini utopia, because I think for me it was like whenever I would do a New Games training or a workshop, it was a time when I could have that feeling of utopia, because we're all playing together, we're all having a good time, we're all sharing, we're meeting everybody's needs because we're going to do certain games that some people are really good at and games that other people aren't so good at, you know, and just balancing things out. And so for me, that was part of it. It was that even though I know that I can't change the whole world completely, I can do it right now.
I do think, kind of as Betsy said, we would come together and have great moments of community and the high that comes from that. But I think, like all life, you understand that that's temporal, and that was the beauty of it.
I spent most of my career in youth development, and tying New Games principles and lots of other things about how to work effectively with youth, usually underserved youth. And I mean, people always say, "How do you change the world?" You know, one kid at a time, okay, one family at a time, and a lot of different kinds of families out there. So that's driven me. I wanted to make the world a little more peaceful, a little more playful, a little more joyful. It seemed like a good thing. I've tried to do that with my own family, my grandkids now.
Yeah, my favorite game as a kid was play a thing called Kick the Can. If any play Kick the Can, and here's my strategy when I was a kid. I'd let everybody else get caught, and then I was the savior, and I was always the one that would try to be last, and then I'd kick the can and free everybody. And I thought for a kid, you know, I was a big hero in town because I was always the one that freed everybody. And it's funny because I ended up working with kids who actually did go to a prison, did get caught, and ended up being a counselor. And I didn't free anybody, but I think for me, what New Games taught me, it confronted me with my own freedom. And that's a scary thing sometimes, to be confronted with one's freedom.